To replace a circuit breaker, it's crucial to follow a systematic approach and prioritize safety. The procedure involves several key steps. Firstly, to energize the panel. This is paramount to prevent electrical shock. Turn off the main breaker that supplies power to the entire panel. Alternatively, you can isolate the specific circuit associated with the breaker you intend to replace. This might involve switching off a dedicated breaker upstream. Secondly, remove the existing circuit breaker. Begin by identifying the bolts or screws that secure the breaker in place. Use the appropriate tools, such as a screwdriver or wrench, to carefully loosen and remove these fasteners. Once the fasteners are removed, grip the breaker firmly on both sides. Apply a steady, even pulling force to dislodge the breaker straight out from the bus bar or mounting rails. Avoid twisting or excessive force, which could damage the panel or breaker. Thirdly, install the new circuit breaker. Carefully insert the new breaker into the designated space within the panel. Ensure that it aligns correctly with the bus bar connections and mounting points. The breaker should fit snugly and securely. Fourthly, secure the new circuit breaker. Use the bolts or screws that you removed earlier to fasten the new breaker in place. Tighten these fasteners to the manufacturer's specified torque. This is essential to ensure a reliable electrical connection and prevent the breaker from coming loose over time. Fifthly, re-energize the panel. Once the new breaker is securely installed, you can safely restore power to the panel. Turn on the main breaker that you switched off earlier. Or, if you only isolated the affected circuit, switch on the dedicated breaker upstream. After re-energizing, test the new circuit breaker to verify that it is functioning correctly. You can do this by plugging in a device or appliance into the circuit that the breaker protects and confirming that it receives power. The time required to replace a circuit breaker can vary depending on several factors. These include the type of electrical panel, its physical accessibility, and the skill and experience of the person performing the replacement. For a standard residential electrical panel with relatively easy access to the breaker, the replacement process might take approximately 30 to 45 minutes. This time frame assumes that you have the necessary tools and a basic understanding of electrical safety procedures. However, for a commercial or industrial electrical panel, or if the breaker is located in a difficult-to-reach area, the replacement process could take longer, potentially ranging from 1 to 2 hours. These panels often have more complex wiring configurations and may require additional steps to ensure safety and proper installation. Here are some additional notes to consider when replacing a circuit breaker. It is crucial to always follow the manufacturer's instructions for the specific circuit breaker and electrical panel that you are working with. These instructions provide detailed guidance on installation procedures, torque specifications, and safety precautions. Always use the correct torque settings when tightening bolts or screws in the circuit breaker. Over-tightening can damage the breaker or panel, while under-tightening can result in a loose connection and potential electrical hazards. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, or if you have any doubts about your ability to safely complete the replacement, it is strongly recommended to hire a qualified electrician. Electricians have the training, experience, and tools necessary to perform the work safely and correctly. When selecting a replacement circuit breaker, it is essential to choose one that is compatible with the existing electrical panel and meets the circuit's current and voltage requirements. Using an incorrect or incompatible breaker can create a safety hazard. Before starting any electrical work, always use appropriate personal protective equipment, including safety glasses and insulated gloves. These precautions can help protect you from potential electrical hazards. If you encounter any unexpected issues or problems during the replacement process, stop immediately and consult with a qualified electrician. Do not attempt to proceed if you are unsure or uncomfortable with any aspect of the work. Here is some more information about circuit breakers. Circuit breakers are essential safety devices in electrical systems. They are designed to protect circuits from overcurrents, which can occur due to short circuits, overloads, or ground faults. When an overcurrent occurs, the circuit breaker automatically trips, interrupting the flow of electricity and preventing damage to wiring, equipment, and appliances. Circuit breakers are rated in amps, which indicates the maximum amount of current that the breaker can safely carry. It is crucial to select a circuit breaker with the appropriate amp rating for the circuit that it protects. Using a breaker with a rating that is too low can result in users tripping, while using a breaker with a rating that is too high can allow excessive current to flow, potentially causing a fire. Circuit breakers come in various types, including standard thermal magnetic breakers, ground fault circuit interrupters also known as GFCIs, and arc fault circuit interrupters also known as FCIs. GFCIs are designed to protect against ground faults, which can occur when electricity flows through an unintended path to ground. FCIs are designed to protect against arc faults, which are dangerous electrical discharges that can cause fires. Regular inspection and maintenance of circuit breakers are essential to ensure their proper functioning. Circuit breakers should be visually inspected for any signs of damage such as cracks, discoloration, or corrosion. They should also be tested periodically to verify that they trip correctly when an overcurrent occurs. If a circuit breaker repeatedly trips, it is important to investigate the cause of the tripping and address any underlying electrical issues. Ignoring repeated tripping can lead to more serious problems, such as damaged wiring or equipment. Electrical panels should be kept clean and free of obstructions to ensure proper ventilation and prevent overheating. Overheating can damage circuit breakers and other electrical components. If you are unsure about any aspect of circuit breaker replacement or electrical safety, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide expert advice and perform the work safely and correctly. Now, for a more detailed explanation of each of the steps described earlier. To reiterate, the first step is to de-energize the panel. Locate the main breaker. This is typically a large breaker labeled as the main. It controls the power supply to the entire panel. Turn off the main breaker. Flip the switch to the off position. Verify that the power is off. Use a non-contact voltage tester to confirm that the circuits are de-energized before touching any wires or components. The second step is removing the existing circuit breaker. Identify the breaker to be replaced. Locate the specific circuit breaker that needs to be replaced. Remove the panel cover. Use a screwdriver to remove the screws holding the panel cover in place. Carefully remove the cover, exposing the circuit breakers. Loosen the breaker connections. Use a screwdriver to loosen the screws holding the wires connected to the breaker. Disconnect the wires. Carefully disconnect the wires from the breaker. Remove the breaker. Grip the breaker firmly and pull it straight out of the panel. The third step is installing the new circuit breaker. Choose the correct replacement breaker. Ensure that the new breaker has the same amp rating and type as the old one. Align the breaker. Align the new breaker with the empty slot in the panel. Push the breaker into place. Press the breaker firmly into the slot until it clicks into place. The fourth step is securing the new circuit breaker. Reconnect the wires. Carefully reconnect the wires to the new breaker, ensuring that they are securely fastened. Tighten the breaker connections. Use a screwdriver to tighten the screws holding the wires in place. Replace the panel cover. Carefully replace the panel cover and secure it with the screws. The fifth and final step is re-energizing the panel. Turn on the main breaker. Flip the main breaker switch to the on position. Test the new breaker. Turn on the circuit controlled by the new breaker to ensure that it is working properly. If there are any issues, turn off the main breaker immediately and consult with a qualified electrician. When selecting a new circuit breaker, it's important to consider a few key factors. Firstly, the amp rating. The replacement breaker must have the same amp rating as the original breaker. This rating indicates the maximum amount of current that the breaker can safely handle. Secondly, the voltage rating. The breaker's voltage rating must match the voltage of the electrical system. In residential systems, this is typically 120 volts or 240 volts. Thirdly, the type of breaker. Different types of breakers are designed for specific applications. Standard breakers are used for general-purpose circuits, while GFCI breakers are used in areas where moisture is present, such as bathrooms and kitchens. SI breakers are used to protect against arc faults, which can cause fires. When working with electrical panels, it's crucial to take precautions to prevent electrical shock. Firstly, always de-energize the panel before working on it. Turn off the main breaker and verify that the power is off using a non-contact voltage tester. Secondly, use insulated tools. Use tools with insulated handles to protect yourself from electric shock. Thirdly, wear safety glasses. Wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from sparks or debris. Fourthly, avoid working in wet conditions. Do not work on electrical panels in wet or damp environments. If you are not comfortable working on electrical panels, it's best to hire a qualified electrician. Electricians have the training and experience necessary to perform electrical work safely and correctly. Some of the tools needed for replacing a circuit breaker are firstly, a screwdriver. You'll need a screwdriver with the appropriate size and type of head for the screws used in the panel. Secondly, a voltage tester. A non-contact voltage tester is essential for verifying that the power is off before working on the panel. Thirdly, insulated gloves. Wear insulated gloves to protect yourself from electric shock. Fourthly, safety glasses. Safety glasses will protect your eyes from sparks or debris. And fifthly, a wrench. A wrench may be needed to loosen or tighten connections. When working with electrical panels, it's important to follow all safety regulations and guidelines. Consult the National Electrical Code, also known as NEC, for specific requirements and recommendations. If you have any questions or concerns about electrical safety, consult with a qualified electrician. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity. Electricity can be dangerous, and it's important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Regularly inspect your electrical panel for any signs of damage or wear. Look for cracks, corrosion, or loose connections. If you notice any problems, contact a qualified electrician to inspect and repair the panel. Keeping your electrical panel in good condition will help ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. Furthermore, when removing the existing circuit breaker, pay close attention to how it is connected. Note the position of the wires and the way they are attached to the breaker. This will help you reconnect the wires correctly to the new breaker. Take a picture of the wiring configuration before you start disconnecting anything. This can be a valuable reference if you have any questions later on. If the wires are damaged or frayed, replace them before installing the new breaker. Damaged wires can create a fire hazard. Use wire strippers to carefully remove the insulation from the ends of the wires before connecting them to the new breaker. Make sure to strip the insulation to the correct length. When connecting the wires to the new breaker, ensure that they are securely fastened. Loose connections can cause arcing and overheating, which can lead to a fire. Use a torque screwdriver to tighten the screws to the manufacturer's specified torque. Do not over-tighten the screws, as this can damage the breaker. After installing the new breaker, test it to make sure it is working properly. Turn on the circuit that the breaker protects and check to see if the lights and appliances are working. If the breaker trips immediately after you turn it on, there may be a short circuit or overload in the circuit. Turn off the breaker and investigate the problem. Do not repeatedly reset the breaker, as this can damage the breaker and create a fire hazard. If you are unable to resolve the problem yourself, contact a qualified electrician. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, it is always best to hire a qualified electrician. They have the training, experience, and tools necessary to perform the work safely and correctly. In addition to the steps outlined above, there are a few other things to keep in mind when replacing a circuit breaker. Firstly, make sure you have the correct tools. You will need a screwdriver, a voltage tester, wire strippers, and a torque screwdriver. Secondly, work in a well-lit area. This will help you see what you are doing and avoid mistakes. Thirdly, take your time. Do not rush through the process. Make sure you understand each step before you proceed. Fourthly, double-check your work. Before you turn the power back on, double check to make sure that everything is connected correctly. And fifthly, be aware of your surroundings. Keep children and pets away from the work area. Replacing a circuit breaker is a relatively simple task, but it is important to take all necessary precautions to ensure your safety. By following the steps outlined above, you can safely and effectively replace a circuit breaker in your home.